Let us begin by defining perfectionism. We are going to work with a three-part definition of perfectionism. The first part is about striving for high standards. A perfectionist is going to set very high standards for themselves, and they are going to be prepared to work for those standards. In this, these standards may be for themselves or for other people, and from the outside, it may be that those standards appear unreasonable. Of course, they don't feel unreasonable to the perfectionist who is striving for them. The second part of the definition is about preparedness to experience negative consequences. Now, there's two parts to this. One of it is that a perfectionist is prepared to experience negative consequences. So if you think about this, a dancer wanting to perform a role, a lead role, they are aware that there's a certain amount of hardship in order to be able to perform that role, extra rehearsals, more difficult movements and steps, more stress and strain, but they are prepared to experience all of those things in order to achieve their standard. The other side of it is that in spite of negative consequences, they are nonetheless still prepared to strive for high standards. So it's not only the idea of negative consequences or of hardship in front of them that doesn't perturb them, but while they are experiencing those consequences, they don't relent on their high standards or give up. So a dancer can be having a very difficult time, physically or emotionally. They can be in pain, physically or emotionally, and yet they are prepared to continue experiencing that in order to work for their high standards. The third part of our definition is that self-worth is tied to achievement. What we mean by this, by self-worth, is your self-worth is the intrinsic value that you feel you have as a human being. And for a perfectionist, their self-worth is connected to their ability to strive for and achieve high standards. And so what we will see in the domain of perfectionism, in this case we're talking about dance, a dancer will feel very good about themselves when they feel like they are striving for and achieving their high standards, and they will feel down and not so good about themselves where for any reason they are unable to strive, and this may be through an injury, an illness, it may be through fatigue or grief. And when they can't keep striving for those standards or they don't achieve those standards, they're going to feel very poorly about themselves. In the next section, I'm going to read 4 case studies, and these dancers are going to follow us through this course on perfectionism. They're going to provide us with closer to real life cases that we can talk about and look at together. If at any point you wish to revisit these case studies, you'll find them in the back of the PDF document.